Hello folks, Armagedd's here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, 3 3/4 inch combo pack, Fimbul the Warrior, Fimbul the Hunter, I'm sorry, and the Warg. And again, I'm going to say it one more time, I love these figures from the Bridge Direct. I think they've done an outstanding job with them so far. I'm sorry the camera's a little weird right now. This box is very big, so I had to kind of reposition everything, but I'll straighten it down in just a second. These figures, in terms of the figures, may be some of my favorite in the line. Let me go ahead and bring in this box here. I mean, you can see let me move these out of the way. I mean, it's a big old thick box. Great. Well, actually, that price tag is in the way, but you can see I paid $21.99 for it, which is actually a little more expensive. I actually got this at a Toys R Us pop-up store in the mall, at my local mall, which is not normally there, but for the holidays they had a pop-up store, and that's where I picked it up. It was a little more expensive. Their prices are a little weird. Let me get this off as best I can for now. There we go. Again, absolutely gorgeous picture of Fimbul here. He is in the movie. I didn't hear him reference him by name, but I did see what I think, based on the weapon and the clothing, I feel like I did see him. Beautiful packaging, just like all the others. Gorgeous picture on the back here of Fimbul. Here's his read-up. I'll go ahead and read it. One of Azog's master hunters, Fimbul is a particularly vicious orc, leader of the pack of Warg riders who hunt down their victims astride giant wolf beasts. Fimbul has picked up the scent of the company of Thorin Oakenshield and is intent on tracking down the dwarves before they can reach the Lonely Mountain. A very nice read-up. The story of these orcs and them tracking down Thorin is, of course, one of the main plots of the movie, and they do a great job of it. I love the movie. I thought it was fantastic. Let's go ahead and we'll just keep this here in the back, and we'll go ahead and reposition everything a little bit and take a look at Fimbul and the Warg. And let's go ahead and start off with Fimbul here. He's what I believe to be one of my favorite figures in the line, and all of that stems from, let me get all his accessories off, and that stems from his clothing. Almost every other figure has very rigid, very hard plastic for clothing. This is the one exception. I mean, this is just extremely pliable, soft plastic. It lets you very easily get up here to manipulate his legs. This bit of a cloak, which is just gorgeous, by the way. I love the amount of detail, and you can see that even the bottoms of it, I don't know how well that's going to come across, but even the bottoms of the robes here they almost look burnt, like tattered a little bit. I love this up here, what appears to be blood, maybe up here at the top of his robes, and this just pegs in here in the back, and you can actually remove it, which I do like that. He doesn't look quite the same, but it's cool that you can actually take that off. The face sculpt on here is absolutely hideous. I mean, he is just like with Grenagh. He's an ugly sumbitch. He's obviously an orc, where Grenagh was a goblin, so you can tell a bit of a size difference. But this guy, he's got great articulation. His legs move very nicely. His head is on a ball joint. No up and down, though. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's a good left and right. His arms, full 360 in and out, his legs forward and back, and like I said, because this is so soft back here, you can actually get up here and manipulate his hips, which makes him a little bit better stability wise. Let's go ahead and stick his shroud back on here. Again, take the peg here in the back and just plug it on in there, and gosh guys, you know, that just looks great. I love the way he looks. He looks very evil, very much like an orc should. In terms of his accessories, he comes with a little dagger here. Nothing too fancy about it. It has a little notch here, and what I actually like to do is there's a hole here on the top of his cloak, and I actually will take it and stick it in just like that. So that's kind of a little holster for it. So that's kind of cool. He's got a mace here. Appears to be maybe like a bone mace or something. Not too terribly sure about that, but he can hold it of course. I don't know why you would make a toy that can't hold his weapon, but there we go. And his third, and what I think is the coolest, is what appears to be some kind of a spear. It's got a serrated, toothed edge down here. It is very bendy. They can't make them too hard, but it's pretty nice. Unfortunately, I was hoping it would be kind of like a staff, and he could hold it kind of like Gandalf does on the ground, but he can't. It's not quite long enough to do that. But it does look very nice, and you can get, because of his posability, get this in his hands, and because of his posability, you can actually get some pretty cool little poses out of him. Something that you can't do with a lot of the other figures. So I really like this guy. I really liked Fimbul. He was cool in the movie. Just one of what I think is the best figures. And we'll go ahead and set him to the side and take. Well, this, I think this will be the selling point for this entire combo pack. You have a very nice looking Warg here, which is a big part in the movie. There's Wargs all over. I will go ahead and say, small spoiler alert, Azog in the movie, the head orc that's kind of hunting Thorin in the company, he actually rides on a pale, like a white Warg, and that looks great. I'm hoping that they make a figure for that, but if not, this will certainly suffice for it. The real main problem with this figure is the articulation. He does bend at every joint, but because the legs are so offset, you have to keep him at a certain, that's about the only way that you can have him sitting, because the feet, you obviously want to have all 4 feet touching the ground, and there's really not much posability. You can do that, like he's maybe sniffing the ground or something, but that looks stupid. He, unfortunately, and like Optobotomus said, I'm sorry, I hate to quote him, but I don't want to steal his lines, but he is packaged facing this way, and it's a shame because he very much should have been packaged this way, because he has great painted in gashes and wounds here on his right side, and they look great. He bends, or he rotates at the hip, so I'm not really sure why you would want to do that, but they did make it that way. One thing I do love is his mouth opens up completely, so that's kind of cool. His head, you can kind of manipulate. Here at his mane, it actually goes up and down, so you can kind of act like he's bending down a little bit. And his tail, he's got a nice little tail. I'm just going to keep it out to the side like that. But an absolutely great figure. It's nice and heavy. It's a very stable figure. I think it just works beautifully. Now, unfortunately, unless you really finagle with it some, it's very hard to get Fimbul riding on the Warg. You can kind of do it a little bit, but not very good. It's gonna look kind of stupid. I don't want to. There we go. That's about as good as you can get it. But that looks kind of weird with his legs, if you ask me, and how you have to manipulate his cloak. But nonetheless, it is possible, I guess. But overall, for the price, I overpaid a little bit, but that was okay because it was the only place I'd seen that had one. So I went ahead and bought it. I think they're normally, probably around 17 maybe. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't done much research on it. But overall, definitely a good figure. Pick him up. I'll say it one more time. The Bridge Direct, good job, guys. They're really impressing a lot of people with these figures. But that's about it. Definitely pick this guy up if you see him. He's well worth the money. This has been Armageddon with another video review. The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, 3 3/4 inch Fimbul the Hunter, and his Warg. Thanks for watching.